Welcome back to my channel. Now this video is going to be part 2 to a video that I've already posted, which was around watching a podcast which was speaking about how to not waste 2026. And in that first video, I was speaking about this need to constantly delay life in order to prove that you are enough by working harder. So if you want to watch that video, go back and watch that one. This video is all about procrastination. Now, before we get into it, if you are someone who is happy to spend the next year labeling themselves as I'm just a procrastinator and you're just happy with that label, get off this video. It is not for you, right? You are not my person. I am someone who is here for achieving big goals, right? And if you want to achieve big goals, you cannot procrastinate. You have to do the thing. In this video, I'm going to basically take you through exactly how I have cracked the code to productivity and removing procrastination from the absolute root. Now, in the podcast that I watched, and they was basically saying how procrastination is either an action issue or a skill issue. Now, there's one thing that they didn't really speak about, which I'm going to speak about in this video, which is of course the identity piece behind procrastination. Let's get into it. Procrastination isn't just a productivity problem. It isn't a time management issue. The truth is procrastination is literally you being held prisoner of your own mind. And at the end of this video, you're going to learn exactly how to break this constant cycle. So first of all, let's bring some awareness to what's actually happening. You have got a big, meaningful task that you want to get done. You know that this thing is going to move the needle forward and help you achieve the goals that you want to achieve. But no matter how hard you try to do the task, you end up busying yourself with something else. You clean, you reply to messages, you go do the shopping, you do some admin instead. You basically stay busy and you avoid the thing that actually needs doing. And essentially what this can do is it can create a false sense of achievement, right? So, okay, I haven't done this task which can help me achieve X goal, but I have done my cleaning, I have done my admin, and I have done my food shop. So it's a false sense of achievement. And that false sense of achievement is basically satisfying your ego, which is going, do you know what, don't worry about that. You're doing all of this and that is great. But internally, you know that this is a problem. So whilst you feel productive because you've got some things done, you also feel ashamed at the fact that you haven't actually moved the needle forward. And the longer you sit in procrastination, the further behind you feel. And something that a lot of people don't know about is actually you have a secondary gain, right? So you know deep down you have this one task that needs to be done, but you don't get it done and you busy yourself with everything else. You then go and tell people, oh, I haven't achieved X, but do you know what? I have done X, Y, and Z. And the reason you're telling people that you've achieved all of these things is because you like to tell people how busy you've been. And the reason you do that is you then gain praise, validation, approval, and that makes you feel good. But deep down, you're actually violating your own integrity. Now, popular advice, for example, on this podcast is that procrastination happens because you don't know the next physical action or you don't know how to do it. So yes, it is sometimes down to action or skill, but when you feel like really stuck, really frozen, you keep saying you're going to do something and you just don't do it, and you know that there is internal resistance where it's like, I want to do it, but I'm held back. There's like this literal wall of force, which is like, nope, stay here, stay here. That's not logistics. That is fear. That is your subconscious mind keeping you exactly where you are. So no matter how hard you work, how much you try and push through, you stay back here. And that in itself, I know feels heavy. It feels shit. It feels so crappy knowing that you want to do all of these things, but you're procrastinating and you're holding yourself back. You know you're capable, you know it can be done, but still you're held back by a subconscious fear. And this is the reason why procrastination is avoidance. And actually, I'm so glad one of the men on the podcast actually brought this up. Procrastination is you avoiding something. At the same time, I say to my clients that procrastination is protection. That procrastination is protecting you from your deepest fear that would happen if you got the task done. For example, if you did do the task, you're scared of what may happen if you try, what happens if you finish it, what comes next. You do not know what comes after doing this task in terms of perceived judgment, rejection, whether it's going to be good enough. And because you can't control all of that, but you can control not getting it done, again, you stay exactly where you are. So your subconscious mind is basically saying, if I don't try, I don't even have to risk rejection, failure, judgment. And that's your subconscious then telling you, well, in order to stop you from maybe facing that fear, we're going to keep you back here and we're going to avoid the task. So actually your subconscious is protecting you. It's trying to actually help you, which a lot of people don't understand. And here's the thing, you can either fight procrastination and like try and push your way through, or you can get your subconscious on board and actually remove the fear that is happening deep down. So let's go through the subconscious origins. When we procrastinate, let's say you're procrastinating because you're protecting yourself from failure or judgment. It has come from a past experience. So maybe growing up, you've done something publicly and you was ridiculed for it, or you've done something in front of your parents, you made some sort of mistake and they laughed at you, or they told you off. Or let's say, for example, you done a school project, but you failed at something and that came with a lot of shame. You do not want to re-experience those experiences because of how much it hurt you, how much it hurt internally. And you have taken on meanings from these events, which basically said, we cannot fail again because that comes with shame. We cannot make mistakes in front of people because that comes with judgment. We cannot be loud, fun, and bubbly because people are going to tell us that that's too much, that I'm too much, right? So you're going to procrastinate on things that are going to put you out there because we don't know what's going to happen if you do put yourself out there. The thing I need you to know is your subconscious is just trying to protect you, and the thing that you're actually fearing probably isn't going to happen. But again, your subconscious doesn't know that because your subconscious only knows your past. You can't create a new reality because it's operating from the past. And when you understand that your brain is wired for survival and not success, or your brain is even wired to keep you safe and not succeed, it's going to keep you exactly where you are, right? It's going to stop you from moving forward. So here's what I want you to ask yourself the next time you procrastinate. What am I so afraid of happening if I were to do this thing? If I were to complete this task, am I scared I may be judged? I may be seen? Am I scared that I actually have to step into the next level of me and I don't know that version and that scares me? Am I scared of putting myself out there and actually failing? That's the reason you're procrastinating. Again, sometimes it is because you don't know what to do or how to do it. Actually, most of the time, ambitious people, you know what to do, or you know that you can ask someone to help you with competence and gain clarity on how to do it. But even if you knew all of that, would you take the action, or is there still some fear there? So you're staying exactly where you are in order to protect yourself and not because you're lazy. But we both know that if you stay here, you will not achieve the big goals that you want to achieve. So here's what needs to happen. You do not need to push through. You do not need more discipline. You just need to get your subconscious, right? The involuntary part of your brain that runs 95% of our actions. We need to get your subconscious on board for success. We need to reprogram your mind for success, for your next level, which is going to help you then remove the self-sabotage. Now, when we do that and we actually get that fearful part on board, action becomes effortless and procrastination completely dissolves. It's not even known to you anymore. Not because you force yourself to do the thing, but because avoidance is no longer needed because you know you're enough, because you've overcome that fear of judgment, because you've overcome that fear of rejection by doing the deeper internal work and reprogramming your mind, rewriting limiting beliefs. So if you want 2026 to be the year that you actually achieve the big goals, rather than just circling back to the same goals because you haven't achieved it yet and telling yourself all these useless stories as to why it hasn't happened, then we need to stop avoiding the work that needs to happen internally. Then essentially what happens is we go from fear-based delay to identity-based action. So procrastination isn't part of your identity. It isn't who you are. It's a protective pattern that is just here to keep you safe. And in order to create safety in success, we need to reprogram what your mind believes about the next level. That's the work that I do with my clients. Yes, using NLP as the vehicle, but we speak to the subconscious mind and we just ask it, what is it fearful of? What is it protecting you from? And then how can we create safety in going for the thing that you want to go for? So if that sounds like something that you know would really help you actually achieve the goals that you want to achieve and no longer be back in this same cycle of knowing you can do it and you have the action, you have the skills, but still you're just stuck, then make sure you drop me a follow on Instagram, DM me YouTube so I know you've come from YouTube, and let's talk about doing some one-to-one work. If not, if you feel like you're not ready for that level of work yet, that's fine. Hit like, subscribe, and just stick around for my future videos because I'm all about helping you shift your identity to reach new levels of success, happiness, and even freedom. I really hope you enjoyed this video and I'll see you in my next one.